Welcome to EPG Pathshala program. I am Dr. Kishan Kumar from GM and PG College in Balakand. Today we will discuss about the organization, function and analysis of working of National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. We will also analyze the role of NABARD to expedite the credit expansion for rural institutional credit system. Agriculture occupies a prominent place in the economy of our nation. It still employs nearly 54% of our total workforce. The share of agriculture is 17.4 in our national income. The entire population living in rural areas is directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture and subsidiary activities. Therefore, agriculture development is not only essential for inclusive development but also for development of secondary and tertiary sectors. Institutional credit plays a significant role in the development of economy. Indian agriculture sector is in dire need of credit expansion, particularly in the post-Green Revolution period, due to increased role of capital-intensive inputs. Ironically, agriculture has remained a neglected lot, while the share of industry and service have witnessed a continuous uptrend in the ratio of bank credit. The agriculture sector has received a step-motherly treatment. The average land holding in India for marginal farmer is 0.383 hectare, and for small farmer this size is 1.422 hectare. Therefore, the majority of farming community in India constitute the small and marginal farmers. So, role of institutional agriculture is all the more important. The research studies found that small and marginal farmers apply intensive labor on the small piece of land, resulting in higher yields and better productivity. However, the land holding size is so small that it is impossible for them to be viable. Therefore, policy support in terms of availability of institutional credit system is essential to ensure accessibility of small and marginal farmers increasingly. Thus, the flow of credit should not be guided by profit motive alone. It needs to be seen in the larger perspective of serving social purpose and inclusive development. It has been the persistent endeavor of our policymakers and planners to lay emphasis on developing rural institutional infrastructure to save the farmer from clutches of moneylenders. The Reserve Bank of India set up Agriculture Refinance Commission to meet the investment credit needs of agriculture in 1963. It was renamed as Agriculture Refinance and Development Corporation in 1972. Regional rural banks were set up in 1976 to devote focused attention on credit needs of rural areas. Thereafter, RBI appointed a committee to review arrangement for institutional credit for agriculture and rural development. This committee observed that RBI was not in a position to devote the required attention to meet the needs of emerging complex rural credit structure. Thus, it recommended the establishment of National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development for this purpose. NABARD came into existence on July 12, 1982. It was established by an Act of Parliament. The National Bank is an apex body for rural credit institutions. It has taken over refinance function of ARBC and agriculture credit function of RBI. National Bank resources. In the beginning, the authorized share capital of the National Bank was rupees 500 crore and its paid up capital was rupees 100 crore. which was equally contributed both by central government and the Reserve Bank of India. Now its paid-up capital has reached to rupees 5,000 crore against the authorized capital of 5,000 crore. The Government of India added rupees 300 crore to its paid-up capital. It also raises capital through deposits which come from rural infrastructure development funds and from banks which fall short of achieving priority sector target. It borrows from the market and the RBI. It raises resources through loans from the Union government and borrowing in foreign currency from abroad. It also mobilizes resources through reserves and National Rural Credit System. Rural Infrastructure Development Fund was announced in the Union Budget of 1995-96 with a contribution of rupees 200 crore to provide assistance to state government to take up infrastructure projects relating to irrigation, rural roads, bridges, and flood control measures. The funds for this purpose is contributed by scheduled commercial banks, which fail to achieve the minimum agriculture lending rate of 18% of the net bank credit. These funds are managed by NABARD. Besides, it also uses other instruments to raise funds. For example, use of tax bonds and acceptance of priority sector deposition from private banks. Organization and function of NABARD. NABARD is headed by Board of Directors. It is organically linked to RBI. RBI nominates 3 of Central Board of Directors on the board of NABARD. Deputy Governor of RBI is appointed as the chairman of NABARD. The head office of NABARD is located in Mumbai. It operates all over the country through its 28 regional offices and sub-offices located in the capital of all the states and union territories. It has 376 district offices across the country and 1 special cell at Srinagar. It also has 6 training establishments in different parts of the country for capacity building and updating the skills of manpower and also of other organizations such as banks, non-governmental organizations, etc. Functions. NABARD is an apex organization with respect to all matter relating to policy, planning and operational aspect of flow of credit for the promotion of agriculture and rural development. Its functions are enshrined in the preamble of the Act, in pursuant to which NABARD was created, which is called for the promotion and development of agriculture, small-scale industry, cottage and village industry, handicraft and other rural craft and allied economic activities in rural areas, with a view to promote integrated rural development and securing prosperity of rural areas and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto, unquote. The functions of National Bank can be grouped into following categories as follows. Number 1, refinance functions. NABARD acts as a refinance institution for all type of production and investment credit to agriculture and allied activities like small-scale industries, handicrafts and rural crafts, village and cottage industry and other related activity for promotion of rural development. Coordination. NABARD acts as coordinator in respect of function of rural credit institutions. It also coordinates the activity of central and state governments. Planning Commission and national and state level institutions having responsibility for the development of small-scale industries, village and cottage industries, handicrafts, rural crafts, etc. Number 3, supervision. It is also assigned with responsibility to supervise and inspect regional rural banks and cooperative banks. Number 4, research and development. It maintains research and development fund to promote research in agriculture and rural development, to formulate schemes, projects and programs as per the requirement of different area. Long-term loans to state government. It provides long-term loans to the state government so that these can achieve the target of providing assistance to eligible institutions in agriculture and rural development. Number 6. Development functions. It gives long-term loans to institutions approved by central government for the purpose of promoting institutional development. Loans. It provides short-term, medium-term and long-term credit to state cooperative banks and regional rural banks. Number 8. Evaluation. NABARD performs the function of evaluation, monitoring and inspection of client banks. Number 9. Training. NABARD imparts training to banks, cooperative, other organizations like NGOs which are stakeholders in development. Number 10. Regulator. It also acts as regulator for cooperative banks and regional rural banks. In addition to these functions, NABARD is actively engaged in performing innovative credit programs since last 2 decades. These are Kisan Credit Card introduced in 1998-99, Watershed Development introduced between 1992 to 2000, Joint Liability Group introduced in 2004-05, Producers Organization Development Fund introduced in 2010-11, Rural Infrastructure Development Fund introduced in 1995-96, Farmers Club introduced in 2005, Selfhelp Groups introduced in 1992. Working of NABARD. NABARD's performance is praiseworthy in respect of the functions assigned to it. It is the only integrated agency for meeting the credit needs of all types of agriculture and rural development activities. The study of rural credit system shows that commercial banks are dominating the agriculture credit disbursement, followed by cooperative banks and RRBs. There has been a significant growth in agriculture credit flow from rupees 1.25 lakh crore to 8.41 lakh crore during the 11-year period of 2004-05 to 2014-15. Agency-wise credit flow is shown in the table. It is clear from the data shown in the table that large percentage of rural credit is still contributed by commercial banks. However, the share of regional rural banks and cooperative banks is also registering a marginal increase. NABARD sanctioned an aggregate of rupees 66,418 crore short-term loans to cooperative banks and regional rural banks during 2012-13. It registered an increase of 14.6% in investment credit for capital formation in agriculture and allied activities, non-farm sector activities and commercial banks by reaching a level of 17,674 crore on 31st March 2013. NABARD sanctioned credit limits aggregating rupees 90,620 crore to all agencies involved in agriculture and rural development under short-term refinance portfolio in 2014-15. NABARD long-term refinance disbursement had touched rupees 31,427 crore, registering a growth of 46.3% per crore over the previous year. A new product was introduced to provide medium-term refinance for 18 months to 3 years. Recently, Government of India has launched a new scheme known as Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana to ensure financial inclusion NABARD's effort in this direction would include facilitation of financial literacy and extending support for technological upgradation of the cooperative banks and regional rural banks. It provided refinancing facilities of rupees 30,574.21 crore for the promotion of non-farm sector activities in 2011-12. It was set up with NABARD for providing term loans at concessional rates to state government. The Rural Infrastructure Development Fund was announced in the Union Budget of 1995-96 to provide needed fund for rural infrastructure development. It was set up with NABARD for providing term loans at concessional rates to state government. It was started with initial corpus of rupees 2,000 crore through contributions from private and public sector banks. Rural infrastructure is prerequisite for farmers to procure vital inputs needed for agriculture production and to provide market facilities. In this respect, RIDF is NABARD's major partnership with the state government for developing rural infrastructure. There are 34 activities under RIDF which are grouped into three broad categories: agriculture and related sectors, rural connectivity, and social sector. RIDF has emerged as a major source of funding under NABARD. The cumulative resources channelized through the RIDF is rupees 17,500 crore on 31st March 2015. Union Budget for 2015-16 announced an allocation of rupees 25,000 under RIDF. RIDF is playing a significant role in rural development. Right from its beginning, around 5.68 lakh projects involving a loan of rupees 2,30,951 crore had been sanctioned as on 31st March 2015. Of this cumulative sanctioned amount, agriculture accounted for 43%, rural roads added up to 30%, and bridges accounted for 12%. 15% of the loans were sanctioned for social sector projects. It is thus clear that agriculture and allied activity accounted for major share of loan under RIDF. In order to ensure that due social and economic benefits are derived from the project, these are monitored by state government and NABARD. Chief Secretary is appropriate authority at the state level to oversee the implementation of RIDF. The project financed under RIDF is also monitored by NABARD to ensure their timely completion, avoid cost overruns, ensure compliance with quality parameters, and to identify new investment opportunities. Majority of farming community in India are small and marginal farmers who don't have the resources to acquire micro and minor irrigation infrastructure. These have immensely benefited from irrigation infrastructure created by state government through funding by NABARD. Increasing population, fragmentation of agricultural land, impact of global warming, and consequent scarcity of water has necessitated the development of irrigation infrastructure to boost agriculture production. In this respect, it is worth mentioning that Union Budget of 2015-16 has allocated rupees 5,300 crore to support micro irrigation, watershed development, and Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. A pilot project on financing joint liability group has been launched to develop an effective credit system for middle segment clients. It aims to provide larger credit for longer duration to middle segment clients involved in agriculture and allied activities. The cumulative number of JLG's Joint Liability Group promoted and financed by bank was 10,99,002 as on 31st March 2015. NABARD extended 100% refinance support to banks. It also supported the program for creating awareness and capacity building of all stakeholders. NABARD had sanctioned grant assistance of Rs 109 crore for promotion of 6.5 lakh joint liability groups across the country. National Bank is playing significant role to revitalize the cooperative credit structure in India. It has taken steps to reorganize primary agriculture cooperative credit societies in order to build up a strong and viable base of level structure in cooperative credit system. It has set up a cell to monitor the implementation of system of functional coordination between short-term and long-term cooperative credit. Cooperative banks are playing a vital role to provide institutional finance for agriculture development. As the cooperative institutions have direct access to farmers, there is an urgent need to strengthen cooperative credit structure to boost agriculture development. It has also been recognized by Prakash Bakshi Committee. Regional rural banks are an integral part of rural credit structure. These were established in 1976. The main objective of these banks is to provide investment and productive credit for agriculture development and deposit facilities to farming community. The share capital of RRBs is contributed by the Government of India, concerned state government, and the sponsoring banks in the proportion of 50%, 15%, and 35% respectively. The source of fund of RRBs comprise of own funds, deposit borrowing from NABARD, and sponsor bank, etc. The number of branches of RRBs increased to 17,856 on 31st March 2013, covering 635 districts throughout the countries. RRB have been playing a significant role to increase accessibility of weaker sections of society like small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborer, to institutional rural credit structure and inculcating banking habits among the rural people. Kisan Credit Card is one of the innovative schemes formulated by NABARD in consultation with RBI, and it was circulated to the banks in August 1998. The purpose of this scheme is to provide timely and adequate supply of credit to farmers to purchase agricultural inputs like seed, fertilizer, etc. for meeting production-related requirements. It has been reported that 47% KCCs have been issued by commercial banks, followed by 38% by cooperative banks and 15% by RRBs. NABARD has been encouraging the banks to form farmer club by organizing local farmers with the financial assistance of NABARD to help the farmers in accessing credit, extension services, technology and market. Around 4,165 new farmer clubs were sanctioned in 2014-15, taking the total number of clubs to 1.47 lakhs. Such initiatives are considered to be mutually beneficial both for banks and clients. Groups. Self-help groups are informal groups, each consisting 10 to 20 members having same socio-economic background, coming from small contiguous area. These groups function on the principle of self-help, solidarity, and mutual interest. The need for extending financial assistance to such groups has arisen on account of necessity to mitigate inequality in development. While Indian economy has registered robust GDP growth, particularly since the last 2 decades, but still a large proportion of population is locked in vicious cycle of poverty. Since credit plays a vital role in economic development, NABARD has been assisting these organizations through refinance to banks for lending to self-help groups, training, capacity building of stakeholders, livelihood promotion, and creating awareness. NABARD extended refinance to the extent of Rs 4,493 crore, and cumulative disbursement of refinance by NABARD for self-help groups lending is Rs 30,663 crore. NABARD launched E-Shakti project in 2014 for e-bookkeeping of self-help groups records and related management information system (MIS) for transparent and proper maintenance of self-help groups records and to remove irregularities and delay in the maintenance of account books. It has significant potential to bring transparency and accountability and consequently to bring good governance. NABARD has been pursuing its policy of supporting farmer producers organizations by extending financial assistance and capacity building. It is also involved in capacity building of the stakeholder involved in microfinance programs. In this respect, it conducted 4,400 training programs and imparted training to around 1.61 lakh individuals, including stakeholders, during 2014-15. Conclusion: NABARD is playing a significant role in respect of agriculture and rural development since its inception. It has played a vital role in expansion of rural institutional credit structure. Innovative credit programs sponsored by NABARD have significant potential to ensure the accessibility of institutional credit system to the weaker section of rural society like small and marginal farmers, agricultural laborers, women and rural handicapped. It has persisted in its effort to make the development all-inclusive one and inculcating banking habits among the rural people. The deepening of agrarian crisis has increased its role and challenge in recent years. Thanks.